He has great hands. He has great hands. He outruns his big every night on the floor, and I try to reward him every time I get a chance. Like I said, his hand and eye coordination is great, so I try to find him and get the ball.
Is that why he's so good at just running to the rim?
Well, he has great touch as well around the rim. He can use both hands, and he knows how to put his body in front of the ball, in front of his defender, and make a shot. It's not so more of him setting screens, it's the way he rolls. You know, he gets into the right seams where I can find him and make it easy for him. And like I said, he always has his hands ready. And he's a great finisher.
Do you feel like you've seen an improvement in the timing of your cuts and where you're cutting to get the pass from Rondo?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the more you play with all the first team, we kind of get build on each other. They know what I'm going to do. I know what they're going to do, and then we just got to build off that. You know, it's just one of those things. The more I play with him, the easier it gets. Everybody knows he's a phenomenal passer. Somebody that's going to find the right guy, the open guy. And, tonight it was me. Other nights it's been other guys. And so we just continue to work together and continue to try to get somebody open on our team.
Celtics with a huge win over the Lakers. They win this one 113-96. Rondo was Rondo, Zeller was Zeller, and it was time. This is the Garden Report on CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog. I'm Jared Weiss from CLNS Radio. With me, as always, Julian Edlow from CLNS Radio, and returning to the show, a little bit of an absence there. Jimmy's usually always with Jimmy Toscano. He's from everywhere, CSN and Celtics Blog, Metro. That's true.
That's the important part.
Jimmy's always lurking somewhere. So we're going to talk about Rajon Rondo and Tyler Zeller's phenomenal combination tonight. I mean, those guys had the best game together, probably the two best games of the season for each of them, but together, first time that they completely destroyed the other team. I mean, it was Jimmy, it was an absolute evisceration down low by Tyler Zeller.
I like that. I think this is, I mean, remember we were talking about Tyler Zeller before the season, like what kind of player he can be in the Celtics, what can we expect out of him? And I said, I think he can be a good role player on this team. I think that he can make a good contribution off the bench and help these guys, help a team that's rebuilding, sort of, win games like tonight. And I think that's what he is. I mean, I think he had an awful start to the year. He was very slow. He was a little nervous when you're playing with a new team. But now we're seeing the connection with him and Rondo where they're almost like two bodies but one mind. Like they just know where each other's are going to be. And I think it's also, and I just think it just shows you the type of player Rondo is, that he can take Tyler Zeller and in a month turn him into a guy who's 24 and 16. What was it? 24 and 14. I mean,
10 for 11 shooting.
Career high 24 points.
Yeah, those are numbers that Tyler Zeller doesn't put up, but they're all created by Rajon Rondo and his ability to see him and know exactly where to pass.
And Julian, that was a romantic foreshadowing to part 2, by the way. But Julian, we heard from Tyler after the game talking about the way that he and Rondo have gelled. A lot of that he credited to Rondo being the best passer in the game, and Rondo then said that Tyler Zeller is the greatest hands ever. Which, if you look at his hands, they're probably top 5 of all time of hands in the world. But yeah, I mean, you see that the development. I know I'm pretty bold on the show. You see, I've done all the research. Trust me. You see the way that Zeller, his cuts are getting more. They're more well timed with Rondo's angle, so he can hit him with that pass.
Yeah, Rondo also really complimented how good Zeller was off of the roll on their pick and rolls, and how he's just always there in the right spot, and they just gel. Rondo finds him in the perfect spot. Zeller goes to the perfect spot that Rondo wants him to be. I don't know. I think Rondo and Zeller might secretly be roommates or something. They're sharing bunk beds, Step Brothers style. Something's going on because they have been fantastic of late, and it all came together with what we saw tonight. Every time Rondo, I think in the first quarter, Rondo probably fed Zeller 5 times on his baskets or so. 5, maybe it was the first half.
It was the first half, I think. Yeah.
First half,
5 or 7 were assisted by Rondo.
And they just bring out the best in each other, really. And who would have thought before the season that Tyler Zeller and Rajon Rondo bringing out the best of each other?
Right, and I just think there isn't enough tape of those guys. I mean, Zeller wasn't a guy that was a big part of, he's just got inserted into the starting lineup. He's not on. We've seen it because, we're watching all the games, but I don't think opposing teams really zero in on the Rondo-Zeller connection, at least not until tonight.
That's a good point.
So I'm wondering how the Wizards are going to come in on Sunday, and if that's one of the things they're saying, hey, Rondo's going to crash. You guys are going to all crash in on Rondo, and Zeller's going to be wide open for the 7-foot jumper that, oh, by the way, he's going to hit because he can hit those shots. He's shown that in the past.
And he did hit those shots tonight.
And he did, yeah.
And, the thing is, you're talking about game plan, it seemed like the Celtics' game plan was the Lakers are thin in the middle. and we got to attack the middle there, and that's what they did. I mean, the points in the paint differential was 19-4. I'm sorry, that was second chance points, but I mean, it still goes to show 54-46. So they had a nice little advantage of points in the paint. They'd have a lot of advantages on the box score. It was hard to sift through all of them.
They did.
But I mean, it was pretty clear that they knew that they wanted to attack as early as they can and let the Lakers know that they have to collapse their defense. And you saw the Lakers actually switch to zone later in the first half because they just couldn't stop the Celtics' dribble penetration.
I agree.
Good. I'm glad that they agree. Just lastly here, Rondo, the way that he looked as a superstar. Last game we were talking about what the heck's going on with Rondo, Julian. You weren't there, but you watched, so you know what we're talking about, obviously. But tonight, Rondo absolutely looked like a superstar tonight. He was phenomenal.
I just like, even though he shot 6 for 17, I like the fact that he took 17 shots. He made himself a part of the offense besides passing the ball. Going forward, I think he'll hit more shots. I think he needs to make himself a scoring threat if this offense is going to be successful. And, you know, who knows, maybe if he didn't take so many shots earlier, the defense wouldn't have allowed so many plays to Zeller. So I overall just liked Rondo's aggressiveness tonight.
Right, he does need to keep shooting the ball because otherwise teams they're not going to play up on him. He's not going to have those open passing lanes to find those guys. If he's not taking the shot, they're just going to assume that he's not going to take it. 17 shots is a lot of shots. I don't know if we always want to see
It might have been a little extreme tonight.
Yeah. But that's what they said. Brad Stevens said he told Rondo on the treadmill, is actually what he said. He called him over and told him that he wanted him to remain aggressive, keep taking that shot even though it might not be falling. The one thing I do want to say, there was no free throws for Rondo tonight.
That's still the
you can't miss a free throw if you don't take one, I guess, but you still want him to be aggressive and go to the hoop. I think when he is going to the hoop, he's passing it a lot instead of going up with the shot.
And that's been an issue with him, is he was so focused on the assists, especially before he got hurt. A couple years ago, he had that assist streak going. He was kind of passing out of even wide open layups.
Yep.
He's got to get that out of his system. That he is a pass first point guard, but you look at Chris Paul as the ultimate model of a pass first point guard, right? Chris Paul, when he gets his layup, he's going to attack the guy. He's going to kick him in the knees, we'll say, since we're trying to be family friendly tonight. But Rondo's got to get into guys' chests. He's got to drive at them. It might not be necessarily his style in the same way as a lot of other point guards, but it's an important part of the game, and Rondo needs to be able to make it a part of his game.
Right.
Now he's taken the outside shots. He hit some of them. It wasn't a great shooting night for him, but it was still overall a good shot selection night for him. But you definitely want to see a few more of those shots going to Jeff Green's way. Probably Jeff Green's 7 turnovers maybe took away some of those shots from him tonight.
Definitely.
So that's it for part 2. When we come back, we're going to talk about Rondo and Kobe's lovely Beacon Hill brunch, and then we'll hand out our Baller of the Night and Boxing Out Awards. So stay tuned for part 2. This is the Garden Report on CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog.
Yeah, I mean, played well, played really well. So I don't anticipate changing it by tomorrow morning's practice.
And then secondly, when Tyler can roll to the basket like he does off pick and rolls, how much pressure does that put on a defense and open things up a little bit for Rondo when he's driving? Just seems like it really puts a defense
his hard
in a
rolls help us. His hard rolls help us. They help us more when there's a guy that can shoot threes next to him as the 4. So, I think that's a positive. So we need him to continue to do that. And he's still a puppy in this. I mean, he's a young guy. He's only in his 3rd year, and I had forgotten until today that he played for Byron in Cleveland. And I don't know if last week was his first start or not, but it has to be close. So he's still learning and growing, but he's getting better, getting some confidence too.